So look at these verses. Ecclesiastes 3:11 in the King James and the NIV. This just shows the radical difference between the Arminian NIV and the hyper-Calvinistic King James. Just go through this. He hath made everything beautiful in his time. Look at that, the NIV. He has made everything beautiful in its time. So they take the authority of God out of it. Also, he hath set the world in their heart, so that no man can find out the work that God maketh from the beginning to the end. So the world is set in their heart, and there's a reason for it. It causes this, so that no man can find out what God is doing. King James, Ecclesiastes 11, look at verse 5, same theme. As thou knowest not what is the way of the Spirit, nor how the bones do grow in the womb of her that is with child, even so thou knowest not the works of God who maketh all. Basically, a lot of the same idea going on here. God is infinity, and we do not understand that. He lets us understand him, and he lets us have knowledge of his fullness. But there's always an infinite of God that we do not know, because he's infinitely larger than we are. Going down here to the NIV, he has made everything beautiful in its time, so that eternity, how do you get this? The world, it's opposite meanings. The world, just take it for what it says. The world is the world, period. The world is fading away. This is the place where men have lust. And here, eternity. And look, eternity in the human heart, what does that even mean? Does that mean that God is putting a state of timelessness in the human heart? Or a state of heaven? It doesn't say that. We don't know. What this could mean many things, eternity. Or is this crystal clear? The world, the domain of man's life of fallenness. Okay, so he puts the world in our heart. In other words, he puts knowledge of the world in our heart so that we don't understand God. So he does this because we are not God and we don't understand the way he does. So here it's a causal connection. A happens so that B happens. Look down here. Not A happens, since it's the opposite of A. And there's a new idea, yet. So here A happens, therefore B happens. Down here, not A happens, period. B happens, separate idea. So the causal connection of the Lord making himself infinitely greater than humans is taken out in the NIV. Gone. This basically says eternity is in our heart. Then this separate idea here, no man can fathom what God has done from beginning to end. So this is essentially what we just saw in the King James Bible, A, therefore B. We have the world set in our heart, therefore we don't understand the infinity of God. We have the world set in our heart, therefore God is infinitely greater than humans. NIV, eternity is set inside humans, which is a very strange statement. And B happens. There's no and between the two. Separate ideas. So everything opposite, if you can just take the opposite of what the King James says, you'll get what the NIV says. It's pretty much what we're seeing here. But the point here, how do you know which one's right? This is what I've been saying for years. You know which one's right by which one has contradictions in it. This one contradicts Ecclesiastes 11:5. Let's look and see what that says in the NIV. So here's Ecclesiastes 11:5 in the NIV. As you do not know the path of the wind or how the body is formed in the mother's womb, so you cannot know the work of God, the maker of all things. Doesn't that contradict this? And this contradiction does not exist in the King James, as we just saw, because the King James is talking about the same thing that Ecclesiastes 11:5 is. There's a contradiction in the NIV. This is how it works. The NIV contradicts. The non-King James, the non-Textus Receptus Bibles contradict. The King James specifically is the one directly delivered from the Lord, as I've done other videos on. There's a contradiction here. Ecclesiastes 11:5 in the NIV says God is the maker of all things. But here, everything is made beautiful in its time. Takes that power of God being the maker of all things, which remains in the King James. It's his time. Here, the his points to he. He has made everything beautiful in his time. Here, the it's points to everything, not to he. Because you don't say it's if it's he. So in other words, God's not creating all things, which contradicts in the NIV, of course, again. Second contradiction we've identified. Does not contradict in the King James, of course. Because God remains maximally sovereign in the King James Bible. Where here the sovereignty of God is taken away. So in the Arminian text of the NIV and the non-Textus Bibles, this is how it goes. You have these sorts of principles. God's omnipresence is taken. And then let's go to this point here. So A is connected to B. The world is set in human hearts, therefore people don't know the ways of God. The NIV, well, not the world. Eternity is set in human hearts. People don't understand God. Here's another great demonstration of KJB versus NIV. KJB wins. NIV has contradictions. This is how we know logically and empirically, really, and also just by sheer reason, I guess is a good way to put it, shows that the King James Bible is the real one. There's no contradictions. And the other Bibles are replete with contradictions. All over the place, sentence to sentence in some cases. So that's how we know which one's the right one, the one delivered to us by the Lord. This is King James Bible is an original text.